on Good Day Chicago, everyone. Stay right here. Chicago Now starts next.
How's it going, everybody?
Yeah.
Where are we at today? A B plus?
Oh, yeah, that's right, because we had the 1 to 10 scale yesterday.
And
Yeah, I
Anthony gave
think
like
so.
a 2.
No, I gave a 5.
Anthony's like, I didn't want to
Meaning
go
I'm
there.
kind of somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd say I'm at 6 today.
Okay, good.
Is that
good.
better?
That's
where,
fine.
Where are you at? Are you...
I had some eggs. I feel I'm full. I'm not hungry. I think yesterday.
Were they hard-boiled like yesterday?
My
Caitlin?
hard-boiled eggs back at it this week, going strong. I was thinking about it yesterday on my drive home because I was like, man, I gave Anthony a hard time about that. But I think it's all about your blood sugar. Like if you're hungry, you're having a bad moment. If you're not hungry, you're rocking. You know?
I agree. Anger is the worst emotion.
Yeah, or just lack of energy. You just feel
Yes.
blah. Something else I thought about this morning that we don't talk about enough is how hard it is to get out of your warm bed
Oh, man, I know.
really early in the morning when your alarm goes off for work. Like, we should give ourselves an award every day
For
climbing
making it out. Yeah.
of that warm bed. Because then you're cold,
I
you gotta
agree.
go brush your teeth,
I really
then
agree.
you gotta change your clothes. It's like, really, it's something.
I, from time to time, crack the window because I sleep well in the cold.
Oh, yeah, I think
and
you said that.
the sleep itself is amazing, but you are spot on because
Yeah.
when you wake up and the air is cool
No.
and then it makes getting out of bed
It's so
infinitely exponentially harder.
And then you're just instantly uncomfortable
Yeah,
because you're
yeah,
cold.
Yeah, exactly.
What is
And
your
you're
routine? Do you just go straight from jammies to your closet?
Let's see. Well, if it's really cold, I've got a pair of sweats that are pretty close to the bed.
Okay.
That I'll throw on, and some slippers just to make the initial trip to the bathroom a
Oh.
little more tolerable.
You keep slippers by your bed?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute.
Well, because I can't sleep in socks because again I get so hot.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? How about you? Do you keep warmer clothes on standby, or do you sleep bundled up? Because I cannot do that. That's the whole thing. Is I need to be cool.
Are you like naked when you sleep?
Oh, we're really going in? No, not quite.
Okay.
Not quite.
I used to not be able to like.
Gabby's over there just like.
I don't know. No, I do wear long sleeves when I sleep.
Caitlin will just ask. She will literally just ask.
not
like
weird.
she goes right to the. I mean, I could never return that question. I mean, we'd be up we'd be upstairs.
Wait.
At HR, I can.
Maybe that isn't inappropriate.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no, I'm crying.
Rack it, guys. We got to rack this and post it. And Caitlin's crying. Get her some tissue.
I just thought of it as matter of fact.
Matter of fact, I know.
I didn't
There's
really
something
mean, like naked.
No, the way you ask it, I got it. It's not. It's fine. It's fine.
Anyway, congratulations to you.
She's crying.
You got out of bed
Yeah,
this
we
morning.
need.
I know. I'll
She's
recover.
crying.
Can you see?
She's
It's my makeup
crying.
all over the place. Sorry. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Oh, my God.
At least it's sunny today. My
yes,
heat,
yeah.
by the way, has been running constantly. I know we keep covering this NIPSCO bill stuff out in Northwest Indiana, but my goodness, when I tell you.
Oh my gosh! Wait, didn't they pass a relief?
Eric was,
Yeah. Some kind of thing where you. Because you are not alone in this, Caitlin, with your NIPSCO stuff.
No, I know. It's everybody.
And they have, I guess the legislature has passed this thing where they have it, my understanding is that do they even it out? Or they have something where you can't be, it reduces sticker shock. It's designed to reduce sticker shock.
The issue that I heard this morning, if I understood correctly, was giving the monthly plan where it's like an estimate of your monthly bill, and then you get hit with some astronomical bill at the end of the year if you didn't pay enough. I believe that's what they were talking about, but I could be
It's a
wrong.
problem.
But anyways, you know, things are in the works, so we're going to keep you up to date with that story. But my point is, my heat has been going constantly.
Yeah.
And I am so scared to see my bill.
Oh my
But I'm
gosh.
not alone. I mean, shoot.
No,
your
yours
bill,
actually.
everybody's bill.
Well, like we had mentioned, the homeowner that we had profiled, their bill didn't even go up as much as yours. I mean,
No, I know.
That's-
Doubling these bills out there.
It's wild.
Something. But we're going to be back to freezing next week. 32
Which is
degrees
good,
expected
right?
Tuesday, yes. Yes, better than the teens.
That'll feel really good. Actually,
It will,
I'm
balmy.
I'm getting over this.
Me too.
I'm over
Me
it.
too.
Okay. The American Lung Association, guess what, is releasing its 24th annual State of Tobacco Control report card. Some mixed grades for Illinois.
Yeah.
And we're going to dive into this. Do we have Christina Hamilton on the line? Christina, hi,
Yes,
good morning.
Good morning.
Bright in pink. Good morning. Okay. So the American Lung Association in Illinois is releasing the 24th annual State of Tobacco Control Report today. So it goes over the state and federal efforts to end tobacco use through different laws and policies and gives Illinois a grade on its tobacco control measures. So Christina, you're here to break it down for us. So I believe we haven't gotten the grades yet, or have we?
We have. We just released the grades this morning.
Okay, let's dive in.
Illinois' grades are mixed. So I'll start with the bad news. We have failing grades in funding for state tobacco prevention programs and ending the sale of flavored tobacco products. However, we have an A for smoke-free workplaces and an A for access to proven treatments to quit tobacco. And then we have a C for tobacco taxes. So mixed grades. We're doing really well in some areas, and then some areas we have opportunity for improvement.
Yeah, we got 2 Fs, 2 As, and 1 C. So we basically come out average. If you average that out, we average to a C. Let's dive into each of these 5 kind of individually. Let's start with the bad, get it out of the way, and then we'll go into the good. Okay, so funding for state tobacco prevention programs, we've got an F in that. Why is that? Why are we doing so bad in that category?
So the state of Illinois receives about $915 million every year in tobacco-related settlement payments and taxes, but we only allot a very small portion of that to tobacco prevention, about $15.1 million. So the positive is that that's a $5 million increase from last year. We passed that this year with a tobacco tax increase. So that's wonderful news, but it's only 12.7% of what the CDC recommends we should be spending to effectively address tobacco use in our state and help people quit smoking and quit other tobacco products. So most states, though, are not funding their tobacco programs at the recommended level. And then for flavored, oh yes.
Excuse me, sorry. I was just wondering, looking at other states who have an A in this category, if there is a state that has an A, what are they doing differently than us? Like, what's the main headline that is different for this tobacco prevention programs?
Yes, so Colorado has an A for funding in addition to Delaware, Maine. I believe it's just those 3. So a lot of states, unfortunately, are not spending what they should on tobacco prevention. And it's very varied how states fund their programs. They might have their settlement dollars in a separate fund. So the settlement is from a large lawsuit in the 90s against the 5 biggest tobacco companies. And from that, states are to get billions of dollars in payouts to fund things like prevention. So some states have them in a separate fund and they use all or a majority of it for tobacco prevention. Some, like Illinois, have that funding go through their state budget and then a small portion to tobacco prevention. Some set up a trust. So it's very varied how they navigate that money to prevention. States like us, we also have some of our tax revenue go to tobacco prevention, and other states do that as well at different levels.
Okay, so it sounds like we need to up our game there in terms of funding this stuff. All right, the other F we got was ending the sale of all flavored tobacco products. So I'm guessing by the F that we have not done anything in this category?
We have not on the state level. There are some municipalities like Evanston that have taken the lead and been trailblazers and ended the sale of all flavored tobacco products, but we have not seen any momentum for that in multiple municipalities and definitely not at the state level yet. And we're really focused on flavors because they are so appealing to youth.
Yeah.
They really are driving the youth e-cigarette crisis.
The e-cigarette crisis. So what do we have to do to get them to stop using flavoring?
Well, funding for programs in schools to inform youth about the health harms of e-cigarettes. Also, increasing taxes, which we just did here in Illinois to make them less accessible from a financial standpoint. We raised that tax, and it went into effect July 1st of this year. So that's a proven effective strategy to decrease the appeal to youth. We also added e-cigarettes to our smoke-free law. So just seeing the usage of e-cigarettes in public places is helpful to reduce consumption. So those are newer policies for our state. So hopefully we will start to see more of a decline, but certainly that funding is an area that we need to continue to increase.
Okay, let's go with the A grades that we got. One of them, we scored an A in strength of smoke-free workplace laws. Tell us what so I do remember, this is some years ago, but you have to smoke like, what, 15, 20 feet away from a door. That's the only thing that kind of rings a bell from when this was passed. But what are we doing right here in Illinois?
Yes, so Illinois has a comprehensive statewide smoke-free law that does prohibit smoking in indoor public places, so bars, restaurants, and other workplaces. And yes, you have to smoke at least 15 feet away from the outdoor entrance if you do smoke. So that is a monumental law for the state of Illinois. It's now been in existence since 2008. And we also included casinos in ours, which is really positive because some states exempt casinos, and we've fought hard to make sure that the law remains strong.
I remember when that law went into effect and all the restaurants and bars went smoke-free. It was such a relief to come home after a night out, when I was in my 20s and stuff, and not reek of smoke and have to fumigate your clothes. It was such a relief.
Smoking, non-smoking sections in restaurants. I remember it clearly.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. You'd be at Applebee's and
that's right.
they're smoking over there. So we got an A also in programs to help people quit tobacco, which is interesting because I couldn't even tell you one program that I can think of off the top of my head to help people quit smoking. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, so we have the Illinois Tobacco Quit Line in Illinois. The phone number is 1-866-QUIT-YES, or you can also go to quityes.org. And it is a free service for anyone who would like assistance with quitting tobacco use. So they can call a certified tobacco treatment cessation counselor. Some of the counselors are former smokers themselves. So it's a really valuable resource that we want more people to know about. And you can also receive 8 weeks of free nicotine replacement therapy if you are uninsured or underinsured, so gum, patches, or lozenges to help with the quit process. So that's one resource to help people quit smoking. We also have coverage under Medicaid for in-person phone and group cessation counseling. So that is a positive for Illinois. And then the funding that, the coverage, I should say, at the state level for state employees, we also have really strong cessation support for individuals who work for the state.
That's really great. Okay, so we're doing a couple things right here. Now, we've landed in the middle, Christina, when it comes to the level of state tobacco taxes. This surprises me after you said we bring in $915 million. So we're still getting a C. And before you dive into why we got a C, how much nowadays does a pack of smokes cost with all the taxes that the state charges?
So we are ranked 15th across the country for cigarette taxes. So they're $2.98 a pack is just the state tax. But if you're in Cook County, it's much higher because there's a tax from Cook County. And if you live in the city of Chicago, there's a tax there. So so it can range, depending on where you live in the state, from $7, $8 to $15, $16 per pack.
Yeah.
So
it's an expensive habit, my gosh.
Wow.
Oh gosh, yes. And if you add that up over the course of a year, it's thousands of dollars that people are spending to smoke. We are really proud of the legislature and the governor for increasing the taxes on e-cigarettes and other tobacco products this year. So now e-cigarettes are taxed on par with cigarettes, which is a benefit to ensure that they're not more appealing from a price standpoint compared to cigarettes. We don't want people switching over to products. So we did increase that tax, but the overall average for cigarette pack, the tax on cigarette packs increased this year. So our grade didn't change there, but we're still, in the top half of the country in terms of our taxes on tobacco products.
I'm curious to know, Christina, if you could give us an insight on the decline of usage of cigarettes and just tobacco in general, since the knowledge now is widespread that it's bad for you compared to in the past.
Yes, over the past 20, 25 years, we've seen the adult smoking rate go from about 23% of the population.
Wow.
So it's actually over 25 years to now it's 10.8%, which is the same in the state of Illinois. So that is a huge win for public health. And that is due to smoking cessation programs, education, having TV ads, and really making it well known to the public of the health harms of cigarettes and tobacco use. Unfortunately, there have been enormous cuts at the federal level. The CDC's Office on Smoking and Health was eliminated last year. Dozens of staff were fired, and one of the programs they ran was Tips from Former Smokers campaign, which is a hugely successful quit smoking campaign where former tobacco users talk about the devastation that smoking has had on their lives. And unfortunately, that program has been cut, and it had helped about 1 million people quit smoking. So we want to see the federal programs and funding continue. We don't want to see all of our hard work undone because of these cuts.
Yeah, that's a very good point, and it makes me think of this Gen Z trend away from booze. All right, so they're not drinking as much, and it seems like they're vaping these e-cigarettes more than they are smoking cigarettes. But I want your take on that. Like, is the cool, how there used to be this cool factor of smoking a cigarette? Maybe it still exists on some level, but where do we stand with that? And what is this, do you know anything about what this particular generation is doing? The Gen Zers that have said no to the booze in huge numbers compared to my generation, for example, and millennials. Where's Gen Z at with this stuff?
Yeah, so the smoking rate for youth and young adults is at an all-time low. In Illinois, the rate is 3.1% in this year's report, but it is slightly higher than last year's report. Last year was 2.5%. So still historically low, but we certainly need to watch that increase that happened. So yes, youth and young adults are smoking at much lower rates. However, the overall tobacco use rate, so that includes e-cigarettes and other tobacco products, that's 17.1%. So that is very troubling. And e-cigarettes and these emerging smokeless products are driving that trend. So again, that's why it's so important to have the funding to really educate and help people who are addicted quit and ensure that people don't start. We also see a lot of disparity in the smoking rates. So amongst LGBT adults, we see the smoking rate almost a third of that population compared to individuals who are heterosexual. It'd be about 18.4% a few years ago. So we do see higher rates amongst LGBT individuals and also lower income people. The smoking rate amongst people enrolled in Medicaid is about 28%. So we do see disparities that we have to really pay attention to.
Okay, Christina, before we let you go, can you talk about what the American Lung Association plans to roll out or work on here in the near future?
Yeah, so in Illinois, we have our annual Advocacy Day at the Capitol on April 15th. You can go to our social media pages in the coming weeks to register for that. And it's an opportunity to advocate for not just tobacco prevention programs, but all the other lung health programs, just to protect the air that we breathe and ensure that people have services and funding to help them live a better quality of life with lung disease and to prevent lung disease. We also have an action alert on our website related to restoring federal funding for tobacco prevention, and you can find that at lung.org/SOTC for State of Tobacco Control.
Okay, Christina Hamilton with the American Lung Association, thank you so much for your time. Hope it goes great in 2026 and we make some progress where we got low grades this year. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
All right, you too, you too. All right, so we're going to switch gears when we come back after this short break. We always on this show love introducing you folks to interesting, quirky Chicagoans who are doing cool things. So we got an artist coming up who has a workshop. He calls it the Truly Ghouly Workshop. Maybe we should be talking to him around Halloween.
We
but
should.
We're doing it in January. Maybe we can check back in with him. But he puts a really interesting spin on everyday items like paintings and books. So we're going to meet Mr. Robert Kelsey when we come back after this.
Seriously injured.
Welcome back, 1023. We have so many creative people in the Chicagoland area, artists everywhere.
Yes.
And so we are going to focus on one particular local artist who's putting a spin on items like books, masks, paintings, taking them from something ordinary to something you won't see anywhere else with the Truly Ghouly Workshop. So Robert Kelsey is joining us this morning. Good morning, Robert. Tell us about your projects, how you got involved with this.
Yeah, so this is a chunk of the masks that I have made here in my workshop. Mostly I work with leather, although I've started expanding into paper mache and wool as well. I really like working in natural materials, things that are going to fade, that are going to slowly break down. I like that things won't last forever. I think that's pretty important. But yeah, I started doing this as a COVID project that really stuck. And I've made about 250, 260 masks since then.
That is unbelievable. These are really cool. So you enjoy the what is it, the patina? That's what my wife uses that word all the time. So when they age,
yes,
but in a kind of I don't know, an appealing way. So these are designed to kind of age.
Yes. The other main project that I work on that you mentioned in the intro is that I paint onto antique paper goods or old books. Also really love the patina on these. I find myself really drawn to like magazine papers and the cheaper papers that are starting to yellow and develop kind of their own character as they age.
Yeah. Here,
So I really like working
show
within
us one of those.
within the life cycle.
Let's get a close-up of one of those. Choose one of those so that we can get a nice, good look at it and show us what you've done. All right, so this looks like...
Neat. So this was a Life magazine ad that I will come in and add a white silhouette to, and then come in with fine liners and add the line and detail to. I kind of envision these as being in the same vein as like Victorian ghost photography, where you know it's not real, but it adds a more interesting narrative. It implies a more magical world.
Oh, I think that is so cool. You know, my 4-year-old would love that because it almost looks like that little monster is playing Magna-Tiles, playing blocks on the ground. It looks like that.
The meat monster, you could just frame that and put it on your wall.
I know. No, it's so quirky and cool.
Speaking of what to do with your items, I mean, those masks behind you, obviously you can see you put a lot of work, effort, heart into these masks. Are these items that people can purchase, and do they use them as masks, or are they something to put on display?
So I feel like most of my masks are probably destined to be wall art, but they are all wearable. I have a few blind masks that you can't see out of, but they are still, they'll fit onto your face. I would hope that all of my masks are worn at least a couple times, but there's not as many excuses to wear masks out and about as I might like. So they're probably destined to be wall art, but they all are functional.
What inspired
It's actually really nice.
you?
I do the...
Oh, go ahead. Finish your thought there, and then
I would say doing summer art markets and the art festivals, having kids come up and grab a mask off the wall and put it on, and just seeing their body language immediately change. Like, you can't wear a mask without having your character shift to become the mask.
Yeah.
And it's really fun to just see kids play with them. It's nice.
Yeah, completely. I was going to ask you, Robert, of all the different kind of art mediums and delivery mechanisms, what made you hone in on masks?
I've always been fascinated by masks. I think the idea of a secondary identity that you can carry around and take off and put on is something very important. It's deeply historic in a lot of various world cultures. I think it's just there's something human about wanting to experiment with who you are and try on different personalities. And a mask just gives you a very safe way to do that.
Okay, so talking about the Truly Ghoulie workshop, is this a location where you make these masks? Are you located inside of a greater facility? What is the Truly Ghoulie workshop?
At the moment, the workshop is just my apartment. I'm hoping to expand into a space where I can display things, where I can offer classes that can be kind of a community space as well as my workspace. But we're growing. The workshop is fairly new. I only started making these masks during lockdown. I've been making things forever, but this angle to my work is still new and expanding.
It's so cool. I don't know if it's possible, because I would love to get a little insight into your process. If your workstation is nearby, or if you could maybe just tell us, how long does it take to craft one of those?
So from start to finish, a mask is anywhere from 6 to 40 hours, depending on how much sewing I need to do. But these are all done with a very archaic process. It's the same way that old Venetian carnival masks would have been made. You take veg-tanned leather, so leather that's tanned with oak leaves or oak barks, anything with plant tannins, and you soak it to soften the fibers, and then heat it. So I just put it in an oven on the lowest setting that the oven can get to. It starts to evaporate the water out of the leather, and those collagen fibers tighten and become strong and rigid. It's the same process that leather armor would have been made by. So you take this wet, hot leather, and you squeeze it directly on your face, and you work it into all the creases, and then you put it back in the oven, and then you squeeze it on your face, and you do that until it is fully dry. And after all the water is left, it will stay in that shape, theoretically, until the end of time.
Wow.
Robert, I gotta imagine you probably have a strong following on social media or online. Can people reach out to you with requests?
Absolutely. Left to my own devices, I will mostly just make skulls and goblins. So I really like having ideas come in from the outside. Because part of the appeal of this work is playing with shapes. And I find the commission work, I have to change my shape language really radically to meet the client's desires.
I know we're in dead winter.
You can put me on... It'll keep the face warm.
Yeah. I was
you can
gonna
find
say,
me on...
We'll flash your social media handle in a second. We're in dead winter, but I also want to know where you mentioned some of these festivals and things where you can set up. Where can people find you typically and see some of your work?
At a lot of the neighborhood art fests in the summer. We're in application season now, so I don't know exactly where I'm going to be this summer. But the Glenwood Arts Fest is one of my favorites. I'm blanking on the name. There's when I have my list, they will be all posted on my website and my Instagram. My Instagram is @truly.ghoulie, and my website is trulyghouliworkshop.com.
It's really cool
Look, I'm just going to say that one little mask to the right of the hairy one is quite cute.
Hey, that's a cute little one. That's
quite
right.
Cute little guy there. Very fun. Well, thank you for sharing, Robert.
Who's that doll that's like haunted?
Oh.
What's his?
Isabel?
What, Isabel? Annabelle.
Annabelle?
Yeah.
Annabelle.
These are really, really
If
cool.
any of my masks are haunted, they're nice.
They're nice? Okay, good. Good juju coming out of Robert Kelsey's studio. This is awesome. Thank you so much for taking us inside your apartment studio, Robert. We really we commend you and hope to see you down the road.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Robert Kelsey with Truly Ghoulie Workshop.
So creative.
So much talent. I love it.
I can't even sew.
I just didn't know the process is like an ancient process and it'll last till the end of time. Once you dry that thing out and it just... Yeah.
Which one would you want him to make if you could pick?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I'm not...
I'd go for one of those kind of like creepy face, like
a ghoulie one?
The one where you couldn't see.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the one where you couldn't see. I wouldn't wear it. I would just...
you put it on your display?
Just to scare my kids.
Yeah.
How about you?
I'm sure Maggie would love that. I'll take one of his pictures. Maybe a cute
pictures.
picture.
Those were cool, like how he kind of retrofitted the
It's different, too. Like,
very
you
cool.
can't find that anywhere else. So throw that in a nice frame. That would be awesome. A fun gift.
All right, fans of the movies Animal House and Groundhog Day are going to want to stick around for this next segment. We are going to be joined by Mark Metcalf, who played Niedermeyer in the 1970s classic Animal House with John Belushi, the Harold Ramis classic. And they're doing an event in celebration and honor of the late Harold Ramis at Harry Caray's Navy Pier. Get a little preview of this event with Mark Metcalf when we come back after this.
This is the stuff your nightmares are.
7:34, Harry Carey's at Navy Pier getting ready for another legendary Groundhog Day celebration where it's going to honor Chicago-born writer, director, and actor Harold Ramis. This year is going to be extra special with an Animal House crossover. So we're learning more about what you can expect come Monday with Mark Metcalf. Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us, Mark.
That's all right. Thank you. Thank you for being there in the cold and the wind so I can join you.
Where are you joining us from?
I live in Portland, Oregon, but just 24 hours ago I was in Maui.
Oh my gosh, lucky you.
It's going to be quite a change when I get there. We're from 77.
Yeah, so when do you get to town?
When did I get into town?
When do you get to town?
Your town?
Yeah, our town.
When do I get to your town? Sunday.
Okay.
I think Sunday in mid-afternoon sometime.
Okay,
Yeah.
So from Maui.
It's Sunday the 1st? Sunday's the 1st.
Perfect.
I'm a little disoriented.
Okay, so let's talk about Monday's event. What can people expect? What are you most excited for?
Well, I made 48 years ago, 49 years ago. We made it in 77, it came out in 78. 40-something years ago, we made this movie called Animal House with a bunch of people, and all of us were just working actors. A few of us knew each other beforehand, but in the 44 intervening years, the movie has become, which was written by Harold Ramis and Doug Kenny and Chris Miller. That's Harold's connection to it. That movie has become such a thing, people like it so much, that we've gotten together periodically through time, and they're all good friends. So I really am excited to come because I get to see Tim, I get to see Peter Matheson, Peter Riegert, Jimmy Doughton. I can't remember who else is going to be there. A lot of people. So it's a little mini reunion of the people who made the movie Animal House. And we get to celebrate Harold, who was not there when we made the movie. He did write it. He kind of came in and cleaned up the crazy comedic chaos that Doug Kenny and Chris Miller had created and made it concise. And he did a gig for me. I used to live in Milwaukee, and I helped manage the Milwaukee Film Festival. And Harold came up. I can't remember. I think we showed Animal House and Groundhog Day probably, and he spoke to the people, and he's just was such a dear human being, and really, genuinely a human being. In all that entails, and I'm being vague, I know, but it's a big concept. And so he was a great guy. So it's great to come to Chicago. It's great to see these people, and it's great to celebrate Harold and the genius that he is or was, and that Groundhog Day is.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's a local guy. Harold Ramis grew up here locally. I know he passed away in the northern suburbs, went to Senn High School. Animal House, one of the greatest comedies of all time. You played Niedermeyer, who was kind of this villain, if I recall. It's been a minute since I've seen. Now tell me how this role...
I think you misunderstood the movie. I always thought Niedermeyer was the hero. He was the Nixon Republican. He was the conservative. He was the guy who would have been storming with ICE into all kinds of buildings in Chicago.
Yes.
Several months ago. Not to go political or anything.
Yes. Oh my gosh, we've been political pretty much all morning, so this show traditionally is a break from that. But I agree with that assessment of Niedermeyer. How has that role kind of shaped your life? I mean, we're 40 years later after the movie came out, and people are still quoting that movie. People still have the John Belushi college poster on their dorm room walls. I mean, this is a phenomenon at this point.
People still say fat, dumb, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
That's right. That's right.
And no, it's Hollywood tends to want to know who you are and put you in a tiny box, and that character was profoundly well written as it was, and as what I worked with it, and John Landis helped me work with it, and Doug and Harold and everybody, that character does seem to have become what they use the phrase a little loosely these days, iconic. And I'm very proud of that. However, at the same time, it did kind of limit me in terms of how I was perceived by the business, and because I'm actually such a nice guy, it confused people when I would go to cast them. So, for a long time, I kind of resented it. It didn't. It felt like I wanted to say, "Wait, you should have seen my Romeo," and but Romeo and Juliet, but I've gotten, because, as I said before, because of the friendship of these people, and the concern, the real connection that the people, the fans, seem to have with it. It's a big part of my life. Here I am talking about it. 48 years.
Yeah. I want to know, because I'm just curious. It's a reunion of friends for you. You mentioned off the top, you just said you're going to see your friends again here in Chicago. So I could imagine it's almost like a little vacation. Have you guys made a to-do list? Where are you going to eat? What are you going to do in Chicago?
No, I don't know. In fact, I have an email sitting unread still on my desktop from Pam Casper, who organized the whole thing, from my point of view anyway, and something about dinner. So there may be a dinner. I don't know. We're all keep in touch, but not every day, so we haven't made plans. And I've been, as I said, I've living in a different land for the last couple of weeks. So
you're getting caught up. All right. I know you're from Animal House, but Harold Ramis, known for Groundhog Day as well. Ghostbusters, played Egon, all this stuff. What do you? What would you want to tell folks who may be unfamiliar with Harold Ramis's work, and just how big of an impact he had on the genre of comedy and film?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think what I said before, the fact that he was really a mensch, a human being, just grounded, is the biggest thing that he brought, and stayed that way all his life, as far as I am familiar with his life. We all start out just sort of trying to do our best, and then some people get very, very successful, and some people think that they are that very, very successful person, and lose contact with who they really are. But Harold never did. Harold was really grounded, just a mensch, just a guy, and doing his best. And he worked very well, cooperatively. He wasn't precious about his words, and he listened to what other feedback people might have. He was. I don't know. It's hard to describe it. I mean, he was just as I said, he was a good human being. He was a good man. I think he was a good father, as near as I can tell. A good boss. A good. He was good, and that often in this world of celebrity, just being good isn't enough. But it really should be, and it really is, especially in these kind of days of terror that we're living with now. Being a nice person, being a good person, taking care of the person next to you it becomes more important, more valuable.
I think that's a great message. And Mark Metcalf, we appreciate your time this morning. We look forward to having you in town. This event is happening Monday.
Fun. I love Navy Pier, too.
It's a great, yeah, exactly. Bundle up. Bring some more. It's not Maui here right now. All right? It's going to be a little warmer when you get here on Sunday, but bundle up, sir.
I've got my fluffy jacket, or puffy jacket.
Perfect. Get the poofy jacket. And we appreciate it's so nice to meet you. I've loved the movie for decades. And it's great to meet Niedermeyer over Zoom, at least, anyway.
Yes. Well, I don't know. Come on down. 3 p.m. at Harry Carey's.
At Harry Carey's.
3 p.m.
3 p.m. Meet Mark and some of the other cast members and people who are connected to this legend,
and
Harold Ramis.
And the groundhog is going to be there.
And the groundhog, obviously.
Most importantly. Safe travels.
Thank you.
Caitlin, as our resident meteorologist, have you ever been to the groundhog festivities?
You know, we were just talking to Gabby about how she really wanted to go this year.
She did.
But she's going on a ski trip, and she's bummed.
And then there's, who's Willie? Woodstock Willie.
Oh, yeah, Woodstock
So we
Willie.
have our own little.
We'll have to tell her she's not sitting right here now, but she could just go down to Navy Pier, pop
That's right.
on over, and she'll be able to meet
There it is.
a groundhog. That's not a groundhog.
The little
And a
beagle. That's a little
perhaps.
beagle right there. But look at those
Fun.
legends right there. We got,
Yeah.
let's see, Bill Murray there, Dave Pasquazi. Is that Bill Murray's brother sitting down there? Who knows? But Harry Carey's, yeah. And Caitlin, we're going to have to rack up Animal House for you. I'm sure Grady loves that movie. Yeah.
I know what poster you're talking about.
Yeah, the college post is from that movie.
Uh-huh.
And Niedermeyer was the antagonist of all these pledges. I mean, he made their life miserable in this movie.
Ooh.
Yeah, so he was like the he was like the big villain.
And it
in
seems
that
like
movie.
he's living the life right now.
Oh, yeah.
He was in Maui for 2
Maui.
weeks.
Yeah.
Now he's back at home in Portland. He'll be here in a couple of days.
We have a very special guest right when we come
I
back.
see
Oh
her.
yeah,
I see her
is
over there.
Natalie here
Yeah, she
in
is.
studio? Natalie
Nat
Baumke is in studio. She's going to tell us about her most recent adventure to the Brookfield Zoo, Chicago. So we're going to check in with Natalie, and we're going to hit on some of the trending stories this Wednesday when we come back after this.
This sweater?
She looks like a little Bambi, but she is not a deer. Here at Brookfield Zoo, Chicago, we are introducing you to the duiker, and she actually shares a habitat with an animal that we recently profiled, the African red-billed hornbill.
Yeah.
So tell us about this animal, Dr. Mike.
So this is a red-flanked duiker. This is Beatrice, one of our animals here at the zoo. And duikers are some of the smaller antelope species that you find around the globe. And you can see from her size, pretty tiny, but very closely related to all of the other antelope species around the planet.
And other interesting characteristics about them, share those with us.
Yeah, so they live in a dense forest area. So we're here in Habitat Africa, the forest, here at the zoo, and this is the forest type of habitat that they live in, and they like that dense canopy, that dense understory, and we'll actually use that to sort of provide them protection.
Interesting.
Great camouflage. It gives them the ability to dive back into thick vegetation to get away from a potential predator.
I understand that they follow primates as well in the forest.
Yeah, so they're they're strict herbivores, so they're just eating plant material, but they figured out that the primates up in the tree canopy often are messy eaters and drop fruit and leaves and flowers down to the forest floor. So as a species, they're known to kind of follow those primate groups around and sort of clean up the leftovers in terms of the goodies that drop from above.
Are they endangered at all?
They are, yeah. So we're seeing population declines in many different duiker species around the globe, and it's that loss of habitat. So it's again the clearing of these dense forest areas for livestock or for food production that is really the biggest threat facing them in the wild, as well as hunting. So they're a popular bushmeat species in their native ranges, and so really it's all about elevating indigenous communities, providing alternative livelihoods that take away that pressure to hunt and to clear landscape.
And tell us again where we can find Beatrice here at Brookfield Zoo, Chicago.
So we're here in Habitat Africa, the forest. A little bit of a hidden gem. We were talking about that earlier. It's a great building. It's not one that a lot of people necessarily find on their journey through the zoo, but this is where we've got our duiker, our hornbill, okapi. This is where we find our pangolin. So some really neat animals in this area.
And a dwarf crocodile,
and a dwarf crocodile,
will greet you as you walk through the door. You can see them all here at Brookfield Zoo, Chicago.
So that's a lesser traveled section of the zoo.
It is. I had never been in there before.
Oh.
And so, yes, a little corner that I didn't know about. And the surprising thing is the amount of time that I've been, the Brookfield Zoo's near my house, so I've been on my own. I still find things that I never knew were there. I discover new things all the time.
What a cute little creature that is.
So the red-flanked duiker, obviously an antelope species. The biggest predators are pythons.
Don't like that.
They live in Central Africa.
No.
People, okay.
Pythons will take one of those things? No.
Jaguars and eagles.
Eagles?
Yes.
Could an eagle just like swoop down with its talons and just scoop that guy up?
It's too large, but
yeah, because how big is it, Nat? Like, is it like the size of a house cat or like a small dog?
Larger than that. I would say like a medium-sized
dog.
I feel like I have seen eagles take animals that are large like this, like deer, for example, pick them up and kind of drop them off the side of a cliff.
Really?
And that's
what are you watching, Caitlin?
Lots
watching
of
wildlife shows?
Yeah, very
Love
much
those
so.
Too. Sometimes I get nervous about my cat in the backyard because we let her.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's a hawk that is kind of the apex predator of the neighborhood.
You never know.
just wonder if they're.
I could see it. I mean, they take bunnies, right?
So they follow primates around, these duikers, and just kind of get the scraps.
Yes. Isn't that interesting? Because like their diet, as you can see, consists of like leaves and flowers and berries, and they're just the cutest little things.
Yeah.
What if they're gonna have little babies there? That'd be sweet. I'll go hold one.
Does Beatrice have a boyfriend or anything?
I think there's two of them there. I think there's a male and a female. Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Natalie, we've got some good news for you. We're talking about the Weenie 500.
Oh yeah, the Weenie 500.
You do?
Yes.
Do you want to run us through?
Okay. Well, so this is the second year for this. Fox, by the way, the home of the Indianapolis 500.
This year we have the race.
We had it last year too. Starting in 2025, we signed a contract with Indy, so we are good to go.
Look at the weenies.
But this is an event that I don't believe is televised. It's only streaming ahead of the race. So Oscar Mayer is signed on as a partner, and they race 6 of those famous Wienermobiles. It all started last year. I'm trying to still get into the driver's seat of one of these.
I feel like you should be the grand marshal.
Thanks, Anthony.
For this thing.
And they have, each of them have names, which this was new to me. So racing this year's Slaw Dog.
Slaw Dog.
Which basically is representing the Southeast, because that is a Southeast style hot dog.
On a hot dog?
It kind of sounds good to me.
Ew.
Does it not? Okay.
I'll try any iteration of a hot dog.
On a hot dog?
Chicago style's obviously
And the Shy
best.
Dog is also going to be represented this year. We don't have to go through that. The New York Dog, the Chili Dog, the Seattle Dog.
What's
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is only 5, but there's 6.
Well, maybe that's a coney.
New York Dog.
You ever had a coney with the chili and the chopped onions?
Sauerkraut, onion sauce, and brown mustard.
Ooh, sauerkraut. That would be interesting.
Yeah. And the Seattle Dog, how about that? Cream cheese, sweet onions.
What?
Sometimes brown mustard and sauerkraut.
Although I'm a little dairy sensitive over here.
Wait. What's on the Seattle one?
Cream cheese, onions, sometimes brown mustard, and sauerkraut.
Okay.
What?
I'm not feeling the cream cheese.
I don't understand.
Are you guys feeling that?
I mean, I would try it because it's like they put a random combo of ingredients together.
I don't know. I mean, think about like all the great cheese sauces, though.
Oh yeah, that's
I mean,
true.
Oftentimes they include a brick
cream
of
cheese.
the cream cheese.
Caitlin, that could be your punishment for me if the Patriots win.
Sure.
Because it's Seattle, right?
And then
Caitlin, we're trying to get a wager going for the Super Bowl. And
Okay.
I was like, oh, well, I'll buy you this, and you buy me this if our teams win. Caitlin's like, no, I want this to be punishment-based.
What?
Yeah, she wants a punishment. She wants a punishment for the loser rather than a prize for the winner. So I'm trying to roll with this.
Okay.
So wait.
I hate cream. Well, I do not good with dairy. So, but I'll I could pop a lactate before that.
We could skip. I don't want you to be in pain, Anthony.
Right. What about those cream cheese roll-ups though that people serve
With ham?
With the ham and sometimes
I don't think I've.
pickle.
I don't think I've.
Yes.
Is this a Midwest?
I have to ask you. Well, we'll go off topic here, Natalie. Cravings.
Oh.
Are you experiencing any that you're willing to share with the group here?
Caitlin had an interesting one that she has to tell you about. But
Okay.
I think I'm like the weirdest pregnant person ever because I've not had any intense cravings and nothing has like grossed me out either.
That's good.
Did it?
No.
What about
wait,
round
take
one
this.
though? Round
Yes.
one, did you?
Nothing.
Oh, nothing.
I mean, I ate a lot of Cheetos and cake, so I often say Olive was made out of cheese.
Cheetos and cake?
Cheetos and cake.
Yeah. I felt sicker when I was pregnant with the girls versus Bodhi. But I've heard that it's because you have so much estrogen in your body when you're it could all be a myth. But this was just one of those, more estrogen makes you feel more nauseous. I couldn't drink coffee. The smell of coffee made me sick.
Have that at
Yes.
all.
wow.
But then with Bodhi or Darcy, they're all blending together. One of my kids, I just wanted pickles. Like pickles, salty,
Yeah.
could not get enough. I think that was Darcy. Do you remember a
Pickles
weird one
was
for
my
her? Was that
wife
the
as
weird
well.
one?
Was
No,
pickles.
the weird one for you was when you were pregnant with Bodhi, you only wanted the noodles, the Parmesan, and the lime juice.
That's right. Yes.
Tangy.
Oh, yeah.
Zesty.
Exactly.
And water.
zest.
I needed like that very strong, like, flavor. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'd put
sure.
that lime juice, Parmesan, plain noodles. I remember that.
It
You're
almost
right.
nauseates me.
Do you still like that, or is it just kind of gone now?
I mean, I would eat it, but no, I don't crave it.
Maggie did it. It was pickles, and funny enough, I don't know, maybe that's why it cued me, but hot dogs. And she's not a hot dog person at all, but during one of the pregnancies with one of the boys, she was like all about pickles and hot dogs. I think it was that salt.
Not to
Yes,
eat
for sure.
hot dogs.
Yeah,
Oh, because it's processed meat.
I guess, but I've had like all the things because I feel like these days I'm more likely to get listeria poisoning from a salad
Yeah,
than
that's
I
true.
am lunch meat, soft cheese.
Well, you're getting close. Natalie, FYI, is getting close to the finish line. She's getting close to the finish line, and we just heard this is her last special segment from Brookfield Zoo, Chicago
But I'll
before
have
you
a
go on
host of
maternity
new
leave.
ones, yes.
You will have a host of new ones?
Coming up in the spring.
Okay, so coming up in the spring, I mean, that could be an
Don't hold me
activity.
to it.
That could be an activity to once you're up and walking again, because that's close to your house.
It gets a little bit warmer
You could maybe
outside.
have a camera crew meet you. No,
Oh,
we're
yeah,
not.
look
We're not
at
going to
right.
put you back to work early, Nats.
All
All
right,
right,
we
we
gotta
are getting
wrap
the
it up.
wrap. We got to wrap it up. We have an exciting hour in our 11 to noon with Tia and Gabby. They're waiting in the wings right now, so don't go anywhere. They will be back after this.
The social media. It is hump day today.
It's kind of gone by fast.
It has gone by way too fast. It needs to really slow down. And I often don't say that because I'm ready to get to the weekend.
Yeah.
But good morning, everybody. I'm Tia Ewing.
I'm Gabriela Primas. Yeah, thanks for joining us on this. I'm glad the sun's shining at least.
It is shining.
It's just so cold. And I was telling my Kaplan this morning, I'm like, I'm just going to look at you. I don't want to see.
Ooh,
I don't
look
want
at the bean.
It looks pretty, but you know what? I don't even want to see it because I don't want to think about how cold I am.
Go back to the bean.
It's like out of sight, out of mind. Someone said it looks like a beignet yesterday.
I feel like it looks like almost like a white chocolate dipped pistachio or like a cashew.
Like a chrome, yeah.
Yeah, because
okay, I
of
can
the
see
white
that.
on top. I love
can see
it.
that, like one of those, they have a new brand that's out that's like chocolate covered nuts. It is so
Looks
good.
so
It's like the little bit.
It makes me want to take a bite out of the bean.
But I made a mistake of wearing a sleeveless shirt and no nylons. Yeah, and I was freezing all day. So I'm like,
you think, Gabby?
Yeah, I know, but I was like, all right, it's a couple degrees warmer. Maybe I'm going to be okay.
You'll be okay. Yeah, not in Chicago. You can't even play that game. Let's talk about what we have coming up on the show. I absolutely watched this and I was blown away by it. It kept me kind of like in suspense of what was going to happen next. You can also catch it, if not here on Fox on Sundays, you can catch it on Hulu. It's a new thrilling series that just premiered this past weekend. It was on Sunday. It stars actors Patrick Dempsey and Michael Imperioli. They're joining us over Zoom to talk about the show. I love the name,
exciting.
Memory of a Killer. I think I got the name right.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And I absolutely love the name because the name plays off of Dempsey's character, which is Angelo Flannery, and we'll get into the mix of it, but the name, yeah, because I'm one of those people that really like shows.
I was going to ask you, like, thrillers.
That are thriller, crimey, you know, kind of leaving me on the seat of, you know, hanging off my seat, and it's one of those shows for sure.
I'm like that too. I just don't like things that are like jump scare. You know, I was having this conversation the other day. I like
There's a few actually, in a little way. Yeah, you gotta watch it.
Jump scares.
It's not horrible. It's not like you're gonna fall off your couch, but it is some stuff that you're like, whoa, really? Okay, we're also talking with the local crossing guard. I'm sure you've seen the video. There was a water main break. It was horrible that day, weather-wise. Anyways, he strapped a kid right on his back, a few actually, to get through the water. And I've been wanting to meet this guy, so I'm so happy that we're gonna have Joe on our show, Crossing Guard Joe. I'm sure he's wrapping up his shift, you know, not too long ago. So we got to talk about what he had to deal with today.
Gonna be fresh off.
But yeah, these are the kind of people that we need to highlight in our community. People that are, you know, just doing what they do every day. It just happened to be that it was caught on camera. So we're going to talk with Joe. And first, we're taking a deeper dive into the No Buy January trend. People are taking part, and we're going to talk about that too. But you said that you had a question.
I have a question for you because Caitlin and Anthony were just talking about this.
Yeah.
I feel like it's interesting. Like everyone has like a different first couple steps that they take in the morning, right when they wake up. And I feel like no matter what time, like, you know, I'm waking up ridiculously early.
I used to be
also,
I know.
But also you have kids, you know, you're waking up early as well. First 3 things that you do. Do you have like slippers close to the bed?
I don't do that. I don't have time for none of that.
Do you sleep in a really cold room? Is it really warm? Like, come on.
I can't get too personal, but what I will say is I jump right up usually. First thing I normally do is I shower first. And then, so I'm an overnight cooker because, you know, when you have a family, everybody can't eat McDonald's every night. So you gotta, you know, provide and put food on the table, literally. So I usually cook everything overnight. And so when I wake up after my shower, I usually check the food and everything. And then I'll do a little weight workout. That's my new thing now.
Okay.
And then everybody else, I'll wake up thereafter.
Like a 20-minute circuit or what?
Yeah, I do about 30 minutes weight training, and then after that, I wake everybody up, lay their clothes out. Early usually is on his own with the clothes, because what I would lay out, he wouldn't want to wear anyway. And so I lay all the kids' clothes out, and then we're off and running. But yeah, that's what I did this morning. I checked my oxtails. They were in my crock pot. My sweet potatoes, I left them kind of on low in the oven, and I made some vegetables this morning. That's my routine.
Okay, there you go.
I'm a chef now. I didn't realize.
You're chefing it up at home.
Yeah, time to open up a restaurant. All right, but what about you?
Well, I'm waking up early. I'm waking up like 2:30, 2:35.
You're running as soon as you wake up.
Yeah, there's no room for error.
No.
I scroll a little bit, check the emails because everything happens like in the afternoon.
That's true.
It seems like I wake up with like 50, I swear. And then what am I doing? And then I'm putting on my slippers. They're close by and going out. I chug a glass of water. And then I have another glass of water ready by like in my bathroom while I'm getting ready. So I'm like somewhat hydrated.
Yeah.
And then I just hit the ground running. Everything's already steamed, everything's already laid out, or
Yeah.
else I can't do it.
That's how I roll. I like it. Okay, we got to talk about this. So no buy January. Earlier this week, we kind of touched on this trend that is gaining a whole lot of popularity online. But how much are people really sticking with it is the question. A new NerdWallet survey has some insight on that. We're breaking down the findings with Kimberly Palmer. She is a personal finance expert with NerdWallet. First of all, thank you so much for being here, because we all need to be fiscally responsible no matter what month it is. For those who may have missed it and maybe they've never heard about this, explain what No Buy January is all about.
Well, No Buy January is a really fun way to kickstart your savings for the year. So basically it means, along with hundreds, perhaps thousands of other people, you are opting to not spend money in January. So of course we all need to purchase on our essentials. You can still buy food and other things you really need, but we're not buying all of the extras that usually suck so much out of our budget. So that means no new clothes, no new toys for the kids. You have to get resourceful about how to stretch what you already have. So it's a fun way to really kind of do a deep dive and think about what do we really need and how can we cut back.
Yeah, especially after the holidays, spending so much.
Yeah.
You know, Kimberly, actually, I feel like, sure, I've heard of these trends maybe during other months, but I haven't necessarily heard of No Buy January. How popular is it? Is it becoming more popular?
It is becoming more popular. At NerdWallet, we actually found that 1 in 4 people have tried it before. And it's just like you said, because we're all coming out of that holiday spending craze, it just feels really good to kind of purge ourselves of that overspending tendency and have a reset. So it's really all about giving it a try. And because it's something fun you can share online and share with your friends, it's a way of staying motivated and staying on top of your budget.
What are some of, you would say, the benefits of No Buy January? Because I've seen, like, for example, you know, people will kind of like pace themselves in terms of eating, like, throughout the day, right? They'll say, I'm just going to eat one big meal. And then when it comes time, they're overeating. So I would think that in some cases, people may have the same reaction if they're not spending in January. Come February, woo, we're throwing up the money. So, like, what are some benefits to make sure that people don't, you know, maybe in January they're going to hold back, but the rest of the months they're letting loose?
I think one of the biggest benefits is that it lets us kind of pause and think about what do we actually need and what have we just gotten into the habit of spending on. And if you can kind of have that reset for yourself, it can cut back on some of that almost unconscious spending where, you know, we're getting the coffees here, the new toys there, and it just all adds up, even if it's spending a minor amount every day. So it gives us a chance to really reflect on that and maybe reset some of those habits. And then it can really set us up for success for the rest of the year too. And that way you can just kind of try out a new patterns, new habits. What can we reuse that we already have? Do we really need those new toys? So I think that's really the key here.
You know, you said coffee, and we kind of both shook our head, yeah, because that's a culprit, I think, in this office.
And it's
having
a lot
it so
of money.
Close. It's so much money. Actually, by the end of the year, you could get like a designer purse if you saved your money on
Or
it.
a trip.
Am I going to stop, Kimberly? Probably not. I'm probably not going to stop.
No.
But, you know, that comes to my next question. I guess if you can answer this, what are people mostly spending money on, it seems like, month to month, that's unnecessary?
Well, there are some easy culprits that you can cut without too much pain. So, for example, subscriptions is a big area that's really helpful to focus on, because a lot of us have signed up for free trials that are now charging us every month, or we've opted into new entertainment subscriptions that we really maybe don't need anymore. And so that can be a great way to reset, to just pause all your subscriptions, cancel the ones that you can let go of, and then you're really cutting back on recurring costs. So it's great because every year those savings add up. So that would be one easy category to target.
I'm looking at that because you reminded me that I had signed up for a YouTube subscription that was $18.99 per month that I actually kind of got roped into. I just canceled it. So
there you
thank
go.
you so much for that.
Good
that's 18. That's almost $20 a month you're saving.
100%, yeah.
So you could do something with that money. When it comes to these challenges, what would you say people should be a little cautious of? Maybe they've never done this before. They don't really know where to start. You know, some people like us, we kind of frowned at each other with the coffee, which I don't. I usually drink the tea. That's what I usually go get. But I mean, we're talking $10 a day, you know, if you keep going every single day. What are some things that you would tell people they could do to kind of like dip their toe in the water if they're not ready to go full-fledged?
Well, sometimes it helps to just pick one category to cut back on. So for me, for example, it's online spending. That's something that's very easy for me to do without thinking about it. Yeah. So just focusing on that one category and saying, okay, I'm not going to do any extras when it comes to online spending, only the strict necessities. That can be a way to take a smaller reset so it doesn't feel too overwhelming, but you're still making progress.
I like what you said there. It's hard. One thing that I found was helpful for me, especially because I'm one of those people, I don't know if you can relate to this as well, but I'm one of those people that I get caught up because my day is so busy. At night is when I cannot take time for myself. And for some reason, the ads find me there. So I deleted any app for clothing, shoes.
Good idea.
Deleted them because then that way it's not right in my face.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah. Do you think something like that is also helpful for people?
I do. And another related thing you can do is to unsubscribe for all those emails. A lot of us get emails from our favorite retailers because we've shopped there. You know, you buy something once and then you're on the list. And that can be a temptation that's really hard to resist. So even just going through and clicking unsubscribe, saying I don't want these emails anymore, that can be a simple way to just remove some of that temptation, especially when we are relaxing at night. It's so easy to click, add things to the shopping cart and check out. Another related tip is just to pause. So even if you are adding things to your shopping cart, just wait 24 to 48 hours before you actually hit buy. And that can slow down purchases and make you realize, oh, maybe I actually don't need that. So that's another little trick that you can try to ease into this.
Guys, that's what I do with shopping. I
leave it in the cart.
I get really, living in the cart and never end up buying anything. Or, you know, I'll see something in a store and I do this little trick, and Brendan gets so mad. My husband gets so mad. I'll be like, hey, I'm gonna go for a walk for a little bit. I'll be back if I want it. And he's like, you're like roping him in every time. I'm like, no, I'm telling him, hey, if I really want it, I will be back for it. But I have a feeling I'm not gonna be back. I'm never really back, right? And think about how much money that saves me. Like, I'm trying to think with intention, like, what do I actually need? Also, I have to say, it's so easy because everything's just at your fingertips. Use the Face ID, there it is.
Yeah, you can check out.
Would you suggest maybe taking your card off your phone?
The wallet, yeah.
Almost like typing in every single number could stop you.
It could. So you want to add as much friction as you can to these kinds of purchases, because when it's too easy and you can purchase with just one click, it's so much harder to resist. And so removing your credit card information, even logging out so you're not automatically logged in with all of your information, that can also help. We just want to make it as hard as possible for us to go into those impulse purchases that we don't really need.
Yeah, retail therapy is a real thing. I think people don't realize it. But I mean, you could have a bad day, you could whatever, and the next thing you know, you've roped yourself into buying 5 pairs of shoes.
I earned this, you know.
You're never gonna wear them. You haven't worn them. Can you talk about, like, by people, you know, making these irrational financial decisions sometimes? Maybe put it into perspective of how much money you're literally throwing out the window, maybe not saving. You'll be 65. You could have, instead of buying that Chanel bag or those red bottoms, that could have been some retirement money. Can you put it into perspective from that standpoint, considering that you do deal with people with personal finance?
For sure. So basically, all of the little habits and little decisions we make every day are adding up to huge financial decisions that really could end up meaning we have thousands less by the time decades have passed. So that's why you really want to do a deep dive into your daily and monthly decisions, those recurring costs that add up over time. Because if you take that money and you invest it instead, or even put it in a high yield savings account, you can just watch it grow instead. Otherwise, we might be buying things that we don't really need. But on the other side, I also want to say that a lot of us do make mistakes, or we fall short during the no spend challenge, and it's okay to make those mistakes, and it can actually be even worse to kind of beat ourselves up about it and get stuck on that. So if you do make a money mistake, or you make a purchase that you really regret, you also want to give yourself forgiveness and grace for that, and just, you know, try again to do better next time. So we don't want to dwell on the bad decisions, we just want to try to make better ones next time.
Yeah, it's kind of like with dieting, as you said. That was a good comparison, because, you know, sometimes it's okay, it's healthy to forgive yourself, to yo-yo a little. I mean, you're human. Do you find that people, if they are successful with maybe no buy January, that it kind of just continues on into the rest of the year?
It does. And I think that metaphor you mentioned is a good one. A lot of people try dry January and then they end up drinking less the rest of the year. It's very similar concept. We try it out in January and then it impacts the rest of the year. So even though it's a no spend January, it's actually having a trickle down effect for all the future months where we just are breaking those habits that, especially that we got into in December, setting some new ones and just scaling back our spending as a whole. And that can really pay off by the end of the year.
Give our viewers some advice. Maybe somebody's watching right now. They're saying 2026, I'm going to start new with my finances. I'm going to save more. I'm going to do better. What are some small things, maybe not just for no by January, but from February on that we could all be doing to maybe save something?
Yeah.
I think the key is to not make the financial overhaul feel too overwhelming. So you want to just pick some smaller steps and make a little progress every week or every month. So one thing to do is do a budget reset. So even if you're not doing no spend, you can still just take a step back and look at your budget. I really like the ballpark budgeting technique. It's called 50, 30, 20. And you basically are taking 50% of your take home pay towards needs, 30% towards wants, and 20% towards savings and debt payments. And that can be kind of an easy way to do a quick look at how you're spending and if you want to make any tweaks. Another small step you can take is to check your credit report. This is something we can all do for free at annualcreditreport.com, and that's a way to see if there's any potential errors or fraud on your credit report. Then you can fix it and improve your credit score. And of course, your credit score is a huge financial factor that can affect the kinds of loans that you have access to. So those are some small steps that you can consider taking, especially as we're easing into this new year.
You know, do you mind if you have an answer for this, like kind of comparing like men and women's spending habits, right? Because like we think a lot of things that are like materialistic, but it seems like men also have their kind of vices, right, that they go towards. Do you think that there's, you know, the different genders kind of approach no buy January a little bit differently?
Well, I think what's interesting is that historically there's been a lot of stereotypes about how women overspend more than men, but actually we can all benefit from this approach and we can all benefit from just taking a pause on our spending habits. And sure, there might be differences in how men and women are spending, but there's certainly nothing inherently about women where we are overspending and we need this more than men. So I think it's interesting to look at historically the kinds of financial advice that have been targeted toward women. And really there's so much we can all do to improve our spending habits, our savings habits. So that applies to all of us.
I love what you said there. Yeah, I think sometimes women, they get a bad reputation for spending a whole lot of money. And I've seen some men, including my own, at home buy some things and I'm side-eyeing. Like,
I'm like,
really? You spent all that money on that? So yeah, I agree with you.
Try not to comment too much. Are there any other themed months that we should look out for?
Financially?
You know, financially coming up like this year?
Absolutely. There's nonstop theme months if you look for them. So yes, I love a theme month. And basically if we break down our financial steps and our goals and we give one to each month, it's a way to get organized and to just make sure that you are doing something, even if it's something small. So, you know, next month the theme could be, what's my debt situation? Can I make a plan to pay off debt? And so I think it's a great way to break it down. And you can always find a dedicated day or themed month to get that extra motivation.
All right, Kimberly Palmer, thank you so much. One more time for people at home who are interested in more information, where can they find some?
You can find it at nerdwallet.com or on the NerdWallet app.
Okay, Kimberly Palmer, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
We'll have you back so then we can see where we are maybe in a few months.
That's kidding. Maybe we could break some stuff down. I don't think you're going to like it, though, Kimberly. Especially with the coffee, I'm telling you. It's an issue.
Make it at home, cheaper.
I do, but see, this time I need the second one. I need the second dose of caffeine. It's really an unhealthy cycle, and I don't think I'm going to stop. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I've had one chai tea, I think, this month, maybe two.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm on a roll.
Tia.
Come on, catch up, Gabby. We can do this.
Get this. We have two very big guests that are coming up here after this very short commercial break. It's a new thrilling series on Fox, Memory of a Killer. Tia's already watched a couple episodes. I have some catching up to do, but we'll be right back after this.
Being the victim of a person.
we shared a little bit too much GMO.
It's all good.
All right, Chicago
Everybody can
now.
relate.
Welcome back to this sunny Wednesday here in Chicago.
It's beautiful.
Before we get to this big interview we've been telling you about, we've been pretty good with having some big celebrities.
We have had some really good celebrities
on this show.
I'm trying to think of who. All the names that we've had. We had
Buddy Guy for one.
We had Buddy Guy. We had D. Ray Davis. We had comedian Lil Rel. We've had a lot of people. I can't keep up with everybody.
Zoom in, we're going to be talking about this TV show, Memory of a Killer.
Oh, it's so juicy.
That's on Fox, and apparently it's very good. I'm always having so much trouble finding a good show because like something will start out slow. I constantly find myself asking Jake Hamilton. I'm like, Jake, at this point, you know that I don't have maybe the greatest taste. Give me something that's a little bit more fun, like something I can just have on while I'm doing some stuff, not really having to pay attention.
You know who I ask?
Who?
Facebook. They never miss.
Facebook?
Yes, I literally go on Facebook and type in like Netflix best shows, Hulu's best shows, Fox's best shows.
Like through their search engine?
Like you can literally just search it and you'll see people that post what they've watched recently. They'll give you all the like benefits of the show. Like there are people out there, they're not well-known critics or anything, but a lot of these people are spot on.
Yeah.
And I just go through random people and I'm like, oh, that sounds like that would be something I would watch. But I'm a big documentary person.
You are.
Like I can sit and watch an animal documentary, spend my whole afternoon doing that. I just love docu-series that are like usually involving animals or a new place or like I told you, the Pole to Pole with Will Smith I thought was very good.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to have to take a page out of your book because I will say sometimes if I'm watching it, I'm not a big napper, but I'm getting up early, so I'm tired at the end of the shift when I'm going home. Yeah. And I'll put on a documentary.
And you'll fall asleep?
Yeah, I'm just tired. I need
Maybe
something like this. I need something that's like a thriller.
Maybe it's not your speed. Well, this is a thriller.
Okay, I'm going to take off my sweater for
I've told you that I've watched it, and it is absolutely phenomenal. Is this because there's a heartthrob?
Yeah,
as part of this? Is that in part why?
And now he's listening, so now I'm embarrassed.
Well, Memory of a Killer is this new thrilling series on Fox. It just premiered on January 25th, which was Sunday. This is about a man who is living a double life. We're talking about Angelo Flannery there, played by Patrick Dempsey, who you see right there. He actually also has early onset of Alzheimer's, and he's working alongside the Sopranos legend Michael Imperioli, and they're joining us over Zoom to talk more about the show. Good morning to both of you. We thank you so much for your time.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Such an honor to have you
It
here.
really is. So listen, I was blown away. I love Angelo, and I love you as Angelo. I love you as Dutch, the friendship, the suspense. Tell people that have not watched this what this show is all about.
You did a great job explaining it, so thank you very much. But it is about a man who's trapped between two worlds that are suddenly colliding, with his sort of suburban dad, traveling salesman, and then his other profession is the hitman, and how these two worlds are coming together.
Interesting. Have you two worked together before? Because we were talking about it. No, you haven't. How has it been acting as best friends? I know you guys are, seasoned actors, but how is it kind of, coming together, having to be fast friends and playing it on screen?
Oh, so easy. It was like, I just really, the minute I met Michael, I felt like I'd known him for a really long time, really comfortable. He has a very calm demeanor, very friendly to everybody, not what you sort of see so much on screen, but even better in person. And just made me feel very comfortable. I was very inspired when I was working with him, and it was just really easy. All I had to do was show up and listen, and he would just take me on the ride in those scenes. So I really loved it. It was great fun.
Michael, I must ask you, because, being a Sopranos, this is an interesting dynamic for you because you're now the person that is not really in on the secret of this hitman versus the Sopranos, it kind of had that element. What has that been like for you and kind of honing in on that role?
Yeah, he's operating in this, underworld of crime. Dutch is a very cagey character, you know what I mean? He keeps his cards close to his vests. He's cunning. Christopher Moltisanti was very emotional. Everything was high drama. He wore his emotions on his sleeve, Dutch, you don't quite know exactly where he's coming from. And on the surface, he's very friendly. He's very gregarious. He's very easygoing, yet there's a lot of calculations behind that. So that's been really, really fun to play.
You know, we've only seen a couple episodes come out, guys. Tia is very passionate.
I love it.
Very
I'm not gonna lie, I love it.
I have some catching up to do. And guess what? I have the perfect time actually later on this afternoon. But tell us about some of the reaction from this show, especially with the two big names like you guys.
Well, I just finished shooting on Friday, so it's nice to kind of starting to get some feedback. We started in August, and we've been working very hard through the last 6 months. So it's nice to kind of finally get some feedback to see how we're doing, and it's all been so far, knock on wood, very positive.
Yeah, I hear from like my closest family and friends, and they're the most brutally honest critics of the stuff that I do. And I know right away very clearly if they like something or not. And this one, everybody's like texting me saying, I'm in, I'm hooked, it's great. So
yeah, it's
so
definitely,
far, so good.
it's definitely absolutely that. It hooks you in. Patrick, I must ask you this, because in this, you know, you have some issues with memory. And being an actor, part of your whole thing is to, in some cases, memorize the things that will happen, right, when you're on set. You have to memorize your lines and all of that. How is it kind of going into that space where now, you know, there are things that you have to intentionally, like, forget?
Yes, and play that a moment. Well, we've all had moments where we've forgotten something and you're waiting for it to come, and it's a lot of those moments. And we start to see, I think this is in episode 1, where he is lost. He doesn't know the password to his home security system. And through those first few episodes, we're starting to see his decline. The whole series takes place over 3 months, and halfway through, he discovers that he actually does have early onset Alzheimer's.
What can we expect?
And that was part of the appeal, is playing a character like that who is deeply flawed, who has this issue. Makes it really interesting and changes the whole dynamic from what is, I guess you would say, these movies are a genre unto themselves. It separates it from other shows.
It's complicated. That would be interesting. I do not know how you guys do it. I really don't. Oh, since you guys just wrapped up, obviously we're not going to give away anything, but is there something that the viewer can look forward to for that final finale show?
Yes, I think what the whole through line for the season is about the ferryman. Who is the ferryman and why is the ferryman coming after Angelo? And it gets resolved in the final episode.
I'm just curious, you know, we've talked to a lot of actors, you know, doing this show. Did anything on set happen that was wild, that maybe it didn't end up on screen, but it was like, wow, that happened? That's crazy. It's just something behind the scenes that viewers would have no idea unfolded while you guys were doing the filming? That you can talk about.
Yeah.
That won't get you in trouble. Because she's gotten people in trouble, let me tell you that.
I have not.
No, it was really, I think shooting in Toronto in January it's very cold. That was the thing that was, we had a few scenes last week that were extremely cold. That was the biggest challenge. And that added great value to the production, but it was hard to shoot in that environment.
Okay, so I know you guys have to go at 11:30 on the nose, but I must ask you this final question. Don't blush. What is it like to still be heartthrobs? You know, when I look at you both, I think, wow. Attractive men
still
there.
Looking good.
Yeah, forever looking good.
Well, it's always good for the confidence, I think. You don't take it too seriously, but it's nice.
I'm just trying to get through the day.
Oh, Michael, come on.
Oh,
it sounds like there's a lot of people at home giving you some trouble.
He's very handsome.
I can't take that in, you know, that's just...
Very handsome. Accept it, acknowledge it, it is what it is.
Happy,
yeah, exactly.
If you guys ever need a call for some confidence boost, we got
Call us up, we got you.
Thank you so much for
Appreciate
coming
that.
on. Appreciate it.
You both are great. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, and I'll continue to watch, so you can watch it on Fox, and then if you don't catch it live on Fox on Sundays, you can then flip over to Hulu and watch it after that. I'm telling you, 2 shows in, I was hooked. So
okay.
2 episodes.
You know what I didn't get to ask them, and I'd want to get their opinion on this? I'm the kind of person like, okay, if I'm watching a thriller, something with like a lot of suspense, like I'm trying to watch it as early in the day as possible. But like,
you don't want to be scared at night, or
I don't want to like have, you know, my heart racing and stuff. My mother will be watching this kind of stuff, like murder, grueling stuff, like right when she's trying to go to bed. I'm like, What's up with
what
that
her
kind of
dreams
people? Because
consist of.
I think a lot of people are the same way, though. You know, like they find it almost calming to hear, like, you know, ID or these like mystery shows. No, you're with me.
Yeah, I can't do that and
You're
go to
with
sleep.
me.
No, I usually go to sleep to noises like tropical or, you know, the sound of rain hitting a tin roof or something like that on YouTube. I play those religiously.
Okay.
That's how I go to sleep at night.
You're fancy like that.
Well, no, it's not that. I have to turn off my brain.
No, I
because
agree.
my brain is steady going. Like, it's going right. It was going in that interview about other things.
I have a sleep machine, I guess, that I listen to. That's like white noise. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay, well, today, or this week's bingo card, it didn't have interviewing those two, so I'm glad we're able to.
Fun. And they look so great. Really good.
I'm glad you snuck that in, because I was thinking the same thing.
They look handsome. Yeah. All right, well, stay with us. We have a whole lot more here on Chicago Now right after this break.
The Force is with the Chicago Wolves.
Welcome back to Chicago Now. As we typically do, let's go through some trending topics.
Let's do it.
One is a new social media trend, and it's saying that 2026 essentially is the year of whimsy, and this is why. This is kind of going hand in hand with the analog trend people are following right now. So they're trying to spend less time online. You know, go back. People are being encouraged to act in ways that's unusual, playful, unpredictable.
What?
Yeah, I guess she has a little
like a planner from back in the day.
Oh yeah, her Kindle. Kindle kind of thing, right? I think that's what it is. In other words, seize the day and live your life with optimism without caring about what other people think. People are also following this in other aspects of their lives, like fashion and decor. They're mixing old with new items, quirky accessories, like maybe some pins or really colorful jewelry.
I got that going on.
Maximalist styles. So instead of like doing the minimalist that we've been kind of following in the last handful of years, it seems like, to bring out that vintage Y2K, 80s fashion and such. The aesthetic is colorful,
I don't like that.
personalized, and lived in, moving away from, again, minimalism.
I don't want to go back to my Britney Spears outfit.
No, you know what? None of those outfits are really that cute. So I'm not trying to wear the low-waisted jeans again.
And the lipstick, remember the lipstick was blue sometimes, eyeshadow was too. I don't want to go back to it. But I mean, you know what? I think that we're living in a world now where people want to kind of go back to the past, because for some people, the past is more comfortable. You kind of know what you were going to get then. And I think now we're living in a time where daily we don't know what we're going to get. We don't know what we're going to face. So I do think that part of it is like a comfort thing, because I've also seen, and I don't know where this started, it's like a post I've seen on Instagram where people are doing it, where they're going back to 2016. Yeah. Is that a what?
Yeah, and
is there a reason
they're
why?
posting some of their pictures. I actually
10 years ago? Is it a 10-year mark?
I think it's like, oh, okay, 10 years ago, where were we? Like,
Yeah.
you know, who was I 10 years ago? Let's like reflect back. No one wants to know me 10 years ago.
But I can't appreciate though people wanting to go back to what was familiar. I can
Yeah, or expressing their creativity in a different way, like with fashion. I'm just not that kind of person, to be honest with you. I'm just kind of like straightforward. I am thinking about like kind of what's next. What's next? Yeah, I just like, I'm not really that free spirited. I wish I were, to be honest with you. I'm just like.
Is it that you don't look to are you one of those people that you're not really looking back to the past kind of thing?
Yeah, not really.
Yeah, I'm not.
I would say. Yeah. But maybe that's just our personalities.
Well, there are some things I regret. Nobody asked me. It's not on the cards about my past, but you know, you can't change it. So
No,
what are you
it kinda
going to
makes
do?
you
Do you
you.
have any regrets?
No, not really.
I got one regret.
You have one regret. Do you want to talk about it or not really?
I don't mind.
Okay.
I feel like I left. So I lived in California, worked in California, and I've always felt like I left too soon.
Really?
Yeah, that I should have taken a beat. I was in
How
my
long were you there?
emotions. I was there for 3 years.
Okay.
I was in my emotions over a guy, believe it or not. And I was like, okay, it's time to leave. And I really feel like I should have taken a pause, realize you're young. This is one dude. It is what it is. Stay a little longer and then moved on. Because I really loved it there. And I feel like I still had some unfinished things that I would have loved to do there.
Yeah, but I think that your timeline matched up to this timeline for a reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's my only life regret. That's the only one. I don't have any other regrets. Because I really loved living there. Like, really loved it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Central California.
Northern California.
Northern California.
I really loved it. Sacramento.
Oh, Sacramento, you said.
Really, really loved it. That's my only regret. I mean, it's a very minor regret.
Okay.
I mean, if push come to shove, you get older, you can retire there. So, I mean, how long could it be a regret? It may not be a regret forever.
You know what, I'm thinking about this, and it's like, all right, free-spirited, you know, it seems like kind of like being less serious, but I just, what do you think? Like, I don't think I'm free-spirited in the fact that I would, like, in 2 weeks book a trip and go somewhere random. Like, that's just not me.
I am.
You are?
Oh, totally.
See,
we've totally done it.
I mean, maybe, but just because I'm thinking about work, or I'm thinking about like, okay, who's that going to impact? Like, who has to kind of take over, you know, my load and stuff?
I don't mean it like that. So, like, for example, I went to Guatemala a few years back, and I had already had that time off that week. I knew I was going somewhere, but I literally didn't plan Guatemala until the week that I was, like 1 week before I was.
Okay.
It was affordable.
Maybe I could do that.
An affordable flight. It was affordable, you know, accommodations to stay where you'd be safe and you're not going to be, you know, kidnapped or anything. And yeah, it was on the whim trip. I knew I was going somewhere, but I just waited to the last minute to decide where I was going. So in some ways, yes. Now, would I inconvenience others? No. But I don't even think our bosses would let you be like, hey, you know, tomorrow I'm going on vacation. I don't think that would happen. So
I'm out. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, so what is this? You got to fill me in because I don't really know all about this.
And
but apparently,
I'm kind of just learning about it today.
There's a yellow font theory. It's all over TikTok. You may have noticed more videos being posted online with yellow or even pink font. I have seen this. There's actually a reason for it. It's called the yellow font theory, and it appears on videos where a person is being vulnerable. TikTok user Missing Slippers. Why did they come up with that name? Posted a video explaining how it started. Let's take a look.
The rise of the yellow font theory isn't an aesthetic. It's a signal. The font first started as a way for people to show vulnerability online. So you're sharing something exposing, something personal, and you write it down in a yellow text. But over time, more and more people began using the yellow font in their videos, so it became a code. People began to associate the yellow text with vulnerability and seriousness. Psychologically, this works because it's a form of social signaling, because seeing the yellow font instantly tells the viewers that the post is personal or vulnerable. And because of that, people tend to react with it and engage with it differently by being more empathetic and more serious in the comments.
Okay, he could sell me anything because of his voice. His voice is very
he just
soothing.
Needs to start.
Yeah, so he made me believe him no matter what. Yeah, I guess, you know, if that's the way to do it, to signal that. But I feel like if you're truly being vulnerable or like, you know, open, I feel like no font should have to show it. It would just be reflected in the video.
Right?
Am I wrong about that?
I think you're right. So what is the pink then? Do we have...
So people are using a pink font to symbolize romance, love, or relationships. It has evolved since it started appearing in late November 2025. The videos you're seeing now have taken a more ironic approach. Listen, I stick with what I said. If you're being vulnerable, romantic, loving, I shouldn't have to look at the font. I should just feel it from the screen.
So then you could say that other fonts, like other colored fonts,
are jarring or upset or mad.
Like red is like, yeah, anger. I'm about to get angry. Oops, sorry, my
so many
earrings
different
on my
factors.
microphone.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah, or like green is...
What would green be?
I don't know. I'm in my feels like...
maybe more like zen.
Yeah, zen.
Green
There you go.
And blues.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's too much online. I can't get caught up in
When I first read it, I'm like, oh, okay, this is a hack for getting like your video on people's algorithm, like on their For You page.
It could be
like,
too, though.
You know, because you have yellow. I bet it could. I feel like every little part of your video actually means something for becoming like part of people's For You page.
So I did learn not TikTok, Instagram. They randomly called me one day. They emailed me and said, hey, do you want to talk to a Meta representative? And I said, sure. They were like, this is for your Instagram page. Not gonna lie, I thought it was a scam.
Yeah.
Girl gets on the phone. She actually works for Meta. And because I guess at that time, this was about a month or so ago, I had so many people engaging with my post that they considered me to be like a top creator on their platform. So they were giving me tips to like get into the algorithm and like keep your videos at that, which now I don't be making none like.
What did they say?
They said the key to really on Instagram in particular is to put your videos through edits. So to edit your video through their actual software edits, not Canva.
So it
not all
is
these other
true.
places.
It is true because I've heard that before, that you don't want to you know, edit something on TikTok, post it on TikTok, and then you know how sometimes they'll save that video, or every time they'll save that video like already done, and then you can upload it onto whatever you want to, and it doesn't do as well.
Because it's already if you go on edits, you can see videos that are already trending in that algorithm. You combine it with Instagram and it's a double win. So if you go on edits, you'll see what I'm talking about. They already have videos that are trending. If you made a video similar, maybe use the same sound, then put it on Instagram. Now it's trending there. People will see it there. People will see it on Instagram. It's really clever.
Interesting. Okay, this trending topic you're kind of hot about, Tia.
I'm not gonna say it because I don't want nobody to get mad.
So one woman has sparked debate online over Girl Scout cookies and how they're sold. So social media is obviously becoming one of the more popular strategies for cookie sales, with parents posting sales links for their kids on their platforms. Now, the woman who started this debate said this shouldn't be the case. Oh, I know. My mouth is actually watering. She remembers her own experience of personally asking people to buy cookies. Were you ever a Girl Scout?
I was never a Girl Scout. I have been accosted. I have been accosted in a way before by a Girl Scout. But overall, I love supporting the Girl Scouts. I've had one experience where I was like, whoa, you're a little aggressive, but you know what? You have to be when you're peddling.
It's your bag, girl, yeah.
You're peddling those cookies, so I wasn't mad about being accosted, but I love Samoas, Thin Mints, and then what's the one? It's the shortbread.
But pretty much she says, you know,
but yeah, I get it. You
having the experience to, you know, sitting in front of a grocery store for however many hours or going door to door with parents. But I'm saying, but it builds communication skills and it builds confidence when you're actually going door to door. And sometimes you need that reality check, like, hey, girl, I'm good. Get lost.
But in fairness, this is creating what could potentially be the next, who knows, mega online store, little girl that sells stuff online. And in ways, you are still building a business model with your child. You got to sort. Let's say Janice lives, you know, downtown. Tia lives, you know, uptown, whatever. You got to sort all these cookies out where they're going, create a route of how you're going to drop them off, make sure they're organized so that when Janice get her cookies, they're not Tia's cookies. So in a way, it's still teaching the fundamentals, actually even more complex business fundamentals than standing in front of the store.
But I think if they have you as that kind of parent, I think what she's saying is that there's probably parents, and think about it. Think about some people that, you know, that are
following you.
That they're just okay, my daughter's in another thing and she needs to sell this amount of cookies, like I'm going to help her out. I'm going to post it on Facebook. She has no idea really that I'm posting on Facebook. Okay. I'm just trying to get a couple of sales, you know?
Well, that's what, if you're one of those parents, you're posting online, make the kids do the work. That's how they learn.
Yeah, or at least like, you know, back in the day before we had social media and stuff, like, yes, parents were kind of doing maybe the same thing or could have been doing the same thing, but at least you're having to approach the family member or the child was in the conversation.
The social, you are missing now by putting it, oddly enough, on social media, you're missing the social aspect of selling.
But you're right. People should think of it that way. That
like
this
a business.
could be, this could be a whole social market kind of thing that's happening online.
You're teaching logistics. You're teaching math. You're teaching, I mean, think about it. You're teaching every aspect of business depending on how many orders you end up with right there.
Yeah, that's true. My mom would maybe cold call people, like some of her family and friends, and see, hey, you guys want some cookies? No? All right, fine.
I've been accosted one time. I'll never forget it. But I bought the cookies. It was outside of a store. It was almost like the little girl was bionic. She just popped up on me.
She was like,
hey, what's I was like, sure, I'll take all of it. I didn't buy all of them, but yeah, I bought some cookies outside of a.
You know what?
I
don't know if I've had a Girl Scout cookie in a while. Probably, most likely.
I feel like it was, yeah.
Yeah, that would make sense.
They're good. Those Samoas, man.
One year I went out at the bottom of a hiking hill and sold the cookies, but it was genius because people were done with they're like, you know what, I deserve this. I made so much money, and then I went back later and I did a lemonade stand there.
Oh, that's really
and it was
creative.
Really,
Let me just say this. If you're watching us right now and you're planning to get some Girl Scout cookies, maybe you got some at home sitting on the counter right now, maybe it's Thin Mints, do yourself a favor, put them in the freezer. Those Thin Mints in the freezer, baby, with a little cup of milk, maybe you're lactose intolerant, whatever. Get you some soy milk, some almond milk, and dip. But I'm on a diet, so I'm living vicariously through you. Go get yourself some Thin Mints.
Just the smell of them, even.
I can smell it right now.
You open up the package. But I was watching TMZ this morning because that's what is playing when I'm getting ready for 4:30 a.m. on Chicago or on Good Day Chicago. And they were talking about this, how yes, it builds so much confidence, communication skills. Like it forces you out of your comfort zone from the beginning, because if you think about it, there's not really many experiences as a kid where you have to like put yourself in that situation.
Especially now with the invention of iPads and phones, where kids don't even know how to communicate, and they're so socially awkward and weird.
Actually, you know what? My mother-in-law sent me a really great video yesterday, and it was when you go out with your children to a restaurant, you should have them order for everybody. You should assign one person to order for the table.
I like that.
Yeah, then they have the memorization of like who got what.
Make eye contact.
Make eye
looking
contact.
down.
Yeah, exactly.
Read.
Yeah.
Pay attention. Sit upright. That's the kind of parent.
And then
I am.
they're engaged. They're engaged. You know, they're not like distracted looking at other things. So I thought that was interesting.
Your kid can come to Tia Ewing's military boot camp. All right, stay with us. We're talking to someone who knows all about stepping in for kids. His name is Joe Sass, a crossing guard. You probably have seen the video. It went completely viral. He's with us in one of these brown chairs right after this break.
I was at
Oh my gosh, this weather has been horrible. And think about, your morning commute, your typical, you got kids, you're trying to get somewhere, you maybe have your new shoes on, it's horrible. Well, a local crossing guard has gained admiration and respect across the city, really, blown up, because you were caught on camera carrying a child across a flooded, icy street. Sounds like more than a child at this point. And a news helicopter from a competing station was flying over and actually caught it live. Joe Sass, thank you so much for coming in, and we want you to hear the story. How did this all go down? And it was last week, correct?
It was last week, last Thursday. So I showed up to work and I went into school, and I always clock into school because I like to say hi to everybody in the office and teachers. And Ms. Price was like, "Hey, I heard your intersection's closed." And I'm like, "I have no idea." I'm like, "I'm just getting here." I'm like, "I'll get over there and I'll call you, let you know what's happening." She's like, "Yeah, I think a water main broke, and I think Bryn Mawr in California is closed." I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "Well, this should be interesting." So I got over there. So there was a cop blocking eastbound Bryn Mawr, and there was like water everywhere and ice. And I called and I was like, "Yeah, it's a mess." I'm like, "We should, we'll see what happens."
Kids start showing up.
Kids start showing up. Well, I have two pretty regular kids come about 8:15, almost like 8:15, 8:20, like clockwork. So I was thinking about that. Then I got my church people that come about the same time, because I got a couple like to get to mass early for that 8:30 mass at St. Hilary's. So I ran over, helped one of the 8th graders across. Then I saw one of my older church ladies trying to get across, and it was real slippery. So I told Jose, I'm like, "I'll come back for you. I'm not going to forget about you." So I helped my church lady across, got her to the stairs, and then kind of like trudged through the water. And I was like, "All right, bud." I'm like, "What are we going to do?" I'm like, I asked him, like, "You weigh?" I'm like, "How much you weigh?" And I'm like, 80 pounds. He's like, 60. I'm like, "Is it okay if I just pick you up and I'll put you over my shoulder and we'll walk you to the corner?"
He dropped something. You picked that up.
His water bottle fell out of his backpack. So he had to go back get the water bottle. And then we just kind of trudged our way, and then I just, waited for the light to change, and just kept, got him to the other side.
Like a true Superman. You just put him over your shoulder.
But was this the first time that something like this has happened? I know this is the first time the camera has caught this with you, but have you been in a position where you've had to kind of rescue people along the way of where you're standing?
Nothing like that. With
cars,
the water.
maybe cars.
Some cars. I mean, it's a busy intersection. So unfortunately, over the years, we've had a couple children get hit, and adults too, which it's devastating. And so I gotta help people with that. So I end up helping a lot of the older people that go to church when it's slippery, or it's real wet or icy. I help them get into church, and as far as like kids go, like I've like one kid was having a really hard time, like her shoe fell off. And I just kind of was like little kindergarten. I picked her up and carried her across the street. That was a couple of years ago. And then like sometimes the littles like to hold my hand.
Oh.
But yeah, though this was like the most like concentrated help I had to do at one time.
And it just happened to be broadcasted live.
Yeah.
So a lot of people could see. It seems like you are a welcoming face, because it looks like you like to put on little costumes, different hats and stuff. Tell us about that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, who doesn't love a fun little like
so
Christmas
cute. That's a mini
hat
one
to pop up? Yeah, my daughter has all these like fun like head bandanas, and when I first started the job and it was coming around like after like the first year, I thought, oh, would it be fun to wear some of these little things for Halloween? And then like we had some extra Halloween stuff, so I'm like, I'll put some Halloween stuff up. And unfortunately, I used to have a bunch of cool bats, but someone, oddly enough, just took the bats.
No.
But I figured maybe they need those bats real bad.
How long have you been a crossing guard?
4.5 years.
And what were you doing before you were a crossing guard? What led you to this job in particular?
It's a long, windy road.
Okay. You don't have to go there.
No, it's okay. We moved back. We were in Tucson for 6 years. My wife was getting her PhD from the University of Arizona. We were living there. We're coming back. It was COVID. It was 2020. Things were crazy.
They were different.
Yeah, so we were coming. She had a job lined up at College of DuPage, but then they stopped hiring, and we were moving anyways. So then luckily she was able to get a job at Morton College in Cicero, and I was just looking for work. And in the meantime, my friend Naaman has a beekeeping company called the Hive Supply.
Okay.
And he takes care of beehives all over the city on people's roofs and CPS schools. So I was just helping him out, and he was like, hey, we're going to go to this cool place called Right Bee Cider. It's over like Costner and Armitage,
Okay.
like in between North Avenue there. And I ended up like becoming a cellarman there and worked there for a number of years with those guys making hard cider, and it was wonderful. Then like the hours started getting like a little shifty, and then my wife suggested maybe I should look for something else. I was looking, and then she saw the CPS was having a job fair, and so I went and talked to the guys at the crossing guard. They handed me an application and called me,
And the rest is
and then the rest is history.
Wow. And I'm sure the kids love to see you there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I could see it. I mean, look at your pictures and all of that, and what you did in that video. Absolutely remarkable. I really appreciate you coming on. And your daughter, we got to give your daughter a shout out.
Oh yeah, she's my little buddy. She's my co-pilot sometimes.
Come on up here. Come
on, Winnie. Can you just give the
we only got 1 minute left. You can bring the camera with you.
a quick little
Winnie
wave,
deserves to
because
be
she
on
is so
camera
sweet,
too.
especially with all the hats that you provide your dad. You guys are so sweet,
and sweet.
I wish the best to both of you. Thanks for what you do, because you really do make a difference.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. I love being out there. It's the best job in the city of Chicago.
Don't worry, some more awards are coming for you, because they're well deserved.
Thank you.
For sure.
Thank you, guys.
We appreciate you coming on, both of you. Thank you so much for joining this Wednesday edition of Chicago. I'm happy we're ending on a happy,
I am
positive
too.
note.
I am too. And I bet that you guys have so many stories, so I wish that we had more time. But guess what? We're going to have you both back, okay? We're going to put a microphone on you next time.
Tell them bye. Go ahead. Tell everybody bye. Say have a great
Bye,
day.
guys.
Have a good day, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
I was baking cupcakes for